think that the sex life of a couple is impacted after childbirth?
Yes, I think it is. First of all, there are a number of physical changes, especially in the woman. She's lactating, breasts that initially, before the kids were erotic, are now functional because you're breastfeeding. Her hormones are changing, especially postpartum. So, and even the level of privacy, the level of time together, because there is this new being that requires the couple's attention. So it is impacted, as is the rest of the relationship. So yes, what are your thoughts about this?
I'm listening to you speak, and I'm realizing that a lot happens to a couple when they just have a child. I like to think of it in the sense that for a long time the couple would have had one specific relationship between themselves. So it's the couple relationship, it's the husband-wife relationship, the partner relationship. So it's just the intimacy between the two people. And now all of a sudden there's a new level to the relationship. There's the parent relationship.
Yes. And there is, besides being, there is a new level of the relationship, there is a new being, which is not an adult, is a baby, which needs, there needs to be met. So there are late nights, there are nights where you don't sleep, you are tired. Obviously this affects sexual desire, affects how much you want to be close to your partner. Maybe there is the fear of getting pregnant again, so the couple need to talk about birth control. There is so much happening, although it's a joyous occasion, because I assume that most of couples plan to have kids. So it changes really and truly the whole dynamic of the relationship. What are your thoughts about how would you advise a couple on strengthening their relationship and their sexual intimacy after they have a small child?
I think something that I would honestly suggest would sitting down and talking about what's going on between the couple, because unfortunately we're somehow made to jump to conclusions, and I wonder how a person would interpret their partner maybe not being as interested in them, not having a lot of energy, not having a lot of time.
Yes.
And the changes
and
that happen.
Talking to your partner about all this will clear.
Yes, it would clarify where the couple is at, and maybe they could also take some time to think of strategies of how to go about it. And something that comes to mind is child minding.
Yes.
Maybe planning some time where someone else could take responsibility to take care of the child, where the couple can focus on themselves.
And it doesn't, a date night does not need to be complicated, really and truly. It can be 2 hours in the afternoon and you go for a coffee. It can be maybe go and have a pizza takeaway and take it near in a beach. So it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes putting the kid to sleep earlier at 7:30 and maybe opening a bottle of wine and seeing a movie together. There are so many creative...
Yes, and I think something else that comes to mind is somehow when there is a child involved in a couple, the conversation seems to revolve a lot around caregiving and their role as a parent. So maybe something else that we could suggest is that during the date night, the couple could try and think of other conversations to discuss.
Maybe they can decide that all talk about the baby will stop as soon as they get out of the car, and then they will focus on themselves and on maybe the work life, how it's going. They talk about their relationship and how it's changed. There are a number of factors that can be altered, and there are a number of things a couple can do. What is coming to mind is also, because we are talking about sex after you just had a baby, but really and truly children change the dynamic of the relationship, because now there are more than 2 people living in the house. And even as they grow older and for example, become teenagers, then there might be issues with privacy, and the couple might feel shy to engage in sexual intimacy because they know that now the kids are teenagers and can understand what is happening in the bedroom. So a couple needs to be creative around the area of sexual intimacy, even as the children grow up and become teenagers, because there are privacy issues there.
Yes, and what you're saying, I agree with what you're saying, and it makes me realize that the couple doesn't just sit down to discuss their sexual life once, but it's a process of actually discussing what life is like at that point in time and what they need from each other at that point in time, because it's a journey.
Yes, it is.
And the kids keep growing, work changes, there's so much change in our lives.
And there are new challenges with every stage of a couple's life. As you're saying very well, there are not changes happening not just in the family, but even outside of the family, because of work commitments, because of extended family situations, parents growing old and becoming sick maybe. So all this is changing the dynamics of the couple relationship and of a sexual intimacy. At times, what is coming to mind as well is maybe the couple can engage in investing in trips abroad for a couple of days or a weekend in Gozo, for example. We really need to be creative and work with the resources we have in the extended family and the support systems we have as a couple. And also I think as a couple we need to work on the fear of trusting someone else to take care of our kids, and in believing that they would have at heart the well-being of our children as much as we do. So if we had to summarize, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind is the idea that it's okay for things maybe to not come as naturally, for the shift from not having kids to actually having kids, not to come so naturally, but to needing to sit down and be creative and find strategies rather than expecting things to somehow fall into place.
It is a really and truly a learning process. I always reflect on the fact that we are not so much prepared as parents. I mean, we get parent classes, but I'm not sure 8 sessions of parent classes prepare you for the challenge of parenting. And really and truly, it's a learning process, and you need to adapt your discipline measures.
Of course, it's a unique process as well.
To each child you have. So I think the couple need to be patient as well with themselves and realize that it's good to be good enough as a parent and as a couple. And the kids thrive in an environment that is good enough and that is respectful and that is where love is felt.
Because somehow a healthy couple relationship creates a very safe atmosphere for the children as well. So both parties really benefit from a healthy couple relationship.
Thank you very much. That was a very interesting discussion. Thank you.